Good afternoon, students. This is Anshoo Sharma from Government College, Chaksu. Welcome back. Today we'll be doing the third paragraph of There is a Pleasure in the Pathless Woods by Byron. Now, in this third paragraph, again, what I had talked about in the second paragraph, the same theme is going to continue in this third paragraph, where the poet tells us about the power of the ocean over man and how powerless a man is uh, in before the ocean. So the same idea, the same concept is being reiterated here. And before I begin with the explanation, let me just read the stanza once. His steps are not upon thy paths, thy fields are not a spoil for him. Thou dost arise and shake him from thee, the wild strength he wields. For earth's destruction thou dost all despise, spurning him from thy bosom to the skies, and sendest him shivering in thy playful spray, and howling to his gods, where haply lies his petty hope in some near port or bay, and dashest him again to earth, there let him lay. So, what I had talked about in the second paragraph, where the poet has described how a man is destroyed by the ocean and he's just like a drop of rain and he dies an inglorious death, unknelled, uncoffined, unknown, to his watery grave he's sent by the ocean. So the same thing is being repeated here, and I'll just quickly go through the word meanings. In the first line, he's talking about steps. Now, this is referring to the footsteps of man, the movement of man, the way the man marks the earth. If he tries to do that with the ocean, then it is next to impossible. Then, spoil, the word spoil, this is again referring to the booty, it is referring to the looting of the resources. Like, for example, on earth, man is always kind of looting the resources, exploiting the resources of earth. But in case of the ocean, it's a different story altogether. Then the word while in the next line, it means something that is wicked, something that is bad, something that is evil. Wields, next line, please see. Wields means exerts. Wield, to wield your power, that is to exert your power, to exercise your power. Then despise is again means when something that you hate, something that you dislike. Spurning, spurning is rejecting. When you throw away something from you, that is spurning, reject. Then in the next line, playful, playful again. Here, playful does not mean in a light manner when you are playing with something. This does not have a happy connotation. Yeah, playful means to be unsympathetic, to be kind of rude, to be uncaring. Then howling, howling, howling is a common word. Howling when you cry. Suppose you hurt your foot or you hurt yourself, then involuntarily you cry out loudly. When you make that loud sound, that is howling. When you cry out loudly, that is howling. Happily, now happily, don't get confused with happily and happily. Happily is something joyfully when you do something with happiness. That is happily. But this is happily. Happily means by chance, by fluke. Happily. Lies, lies here refers to the man's wishes that are unimportant. Okay, so uh, lies and lay, actually, why you can see I have made circles around these two words, because this is like a poetic license that the poet has taken here. He's just using these words lies and lay, a kind of rhyme scheme, to emphasize something that he's trying to convey. So that is why he's used the word lies and lay. Petty again means something small, something insignificant, unimportant. Dashest. Now, dashest is again Old English. Nowadays, we use the word dashed, but here dashest has been used, which means to throw forcefully, to throw something away from you, to dash it. So, to throw away. Lay again in the last line, lay, this is like as if something is lying like a rag doll. It lied there, it lay there very, ignored. So, lay means to lie ignored, to lie like a rag doll, something that is unimportant. Okay. So these were the word meanings. Now let's just go through the stanza quickly. Uh, now, moving on from the second paragraph, the same idea is being repeated here when he says, "His steps are not upon thy paths." Now, his here stands for human beings, for mankind, for man. His steps, that is, the steps of man, are not upon thy paths. Now, understand this, please. If firstly, you cannot walk over water, okay? Secondly, even if you are able to walk over water, you cannot leave the mark of your footsteps over water. Water is something liquid, it does not allow for any marking on it, right? So now compare the footsteps of man over land to footsteps over water. If we walk over earth, yeah, it's a common thing. All of us have observed it. For example, if you walk on a sea beach, and if you look back, your footsteps are etched there on the sand. Okay, so you leave your mark when you walk over earth. But if you walk over water, you leave no mark, right? So this is what the poet is again trying to emphasize, that man can have a certain power over land, but he is powerless over water. He may leave his mark on land, but he cannot leave a single mark on the ocean. So his steps are not upon thy paths, thy fields, your paths, your plains, they cannot be marked by man. Man is not capable of leaving his footsteps over you. Then thy fields are not a spoil for him. This is the second comparison. On earth, what does man do? The whole earth is for him to spoil. The whole earth is there for him to use as he pleases. The whole earth is there for him to leave his mark the way he wants to. But in your case, upon your fields, man cannot leave his mark. He cannot lay bare your fields. He cannot spoil your fields. He cannot spoil the plains, the watery plains are not for him to rule, not for him to overpower, not for him to exploit. This is what the poet is trying to say. He's drawing the comparison of the power of man over land and over water. Then thou dost arise and shake him from thee. Now, this is again very important. What does water do? When man walks on land, he rules it. But when man tries to walk over ocean, he gets drowned. And what does the ocean do? The ocean is so powerful that it shakes it off. Like, for example, if you've seen a lion, if a small fly sits on the mane of the lion and the lion shakes his head, the fly is, kind of, it flies up in the air, it disappears. So, something like that. Like the ocean shakes its head, the ocean shakes its mane, and the man just flies up, is thrown away, thrown far away from the ocean. That is the kind of power that the ocean has over man. So, man is ineffectual, the man is powerless, the man is insignificant, impotent, you can say, in comparison to the ocean. He does not have any power, he cannot wield any power over the ocean. The ocean will just throw him away. Then and shake him from thee the wild strength he wields. Now, wild strength he wields, it is the negative force, it is the wicked, it is the evil force that man exercises over land, right? But this evil strength that he wields, that he exerts, that he exercises to destroy this earth, you despise this power. You despise this vileness. You despise this negativity. You despise this exploitative attitude of man. And you throw away man from yourself. You do not allow man to exploit you. You do not allow man to exert the evil influence over yourself. You do not give permission. You do not give any kind of allowance for man to exercise his vile power over you, evil power over you, wicked power over you. You spurn him, spurning him from thy bosom to the skies. And if he tries to, ride your chest, if he tries to overpower you, you kind of shake him off and you spurn him. What does spurn mean? Spurning means to reject, to throw away. So you throw away man from you up into the skies. That is the kind of power you have over man. You just reject him, you overpower him, you overthrow him, and you throw him away from you onto the skies and sendest him shivering in thy playful spray. So for you, it is just like as if you're playing with man. It's like if you have seen, if there's a fountain of water and you put a plastic ball over it, what happens? The plastic ball is kind of rolled over, is unable to do anything. The plastic ball has no power over that eject, over that powerful eject of the fountain. So something like that. So you can imagine the man is like that plastic ball, and the powerful flow of the water, it kind of spurns it away, it kind of throws the man up into the air and sends him shivering into the skies. The spray of water is so strong, the spray of water is so fast, it is so fast moving, it is so vigorous that man is thrown up into the air, and the man is thrown up once again like a matchstick, something that is powerless, something that has no weight, and he's thrown up into the waters, into the skies, and howling to his God, where happily lies. So he is just like something, like for example, a small tiny dog, if sprayed with water, it runs away howling, crying to its master to protect him, to save him. So he's comparing man to some small animal, some small insignificant being. And what does this insignificant being do? When he feels threatened, he runs towards his gods. He runs towards his, the omnipotent, omnipresent gods that he believes in, to save him from the power of the ocean, to save his life. So he cries, he calls upon his gods, he calls upon all the powers to save him from being destroyed. So he says, and howling to his gods, like a child who goes running to his mother, or the child who goes running to his father to protect him from a bully, or from somebody who's bigger or more powerful than itself. So something like that. So this human being, you can say the mankind, they go running to their gods, where happily lies his petty hope in some near port or bay. So he goes, it's like petty means again very small, something unimportant, and he kind of tries to save himself from the power of the ocean. But the ocean is extremely powerful, and he dashes him again to the earth. And what does the ocean do? The ocean throws the man forcefully on earth, and there let him lay. Let him lay like a rag doll, as if the ocean has had its fill. It's playing around with man, throwing him here, throwing him there, throwing him up above in the air. And the man is so insignificant. It is so small. It is so unimportant. And he has got no power whatsoever over the ocean. It is the ocean that is extremely powerful. And the waves of the seas are so strong that even the weapons of the man are ineffective. And what the poet is trying to emphasize here is that man's power on sea is very little, ineffective. Man can control earth, and he can use earth as the base where he can exercise his immoral strength. He can wreak destruction on earth. But when he tries to overpower the ocean, he realizes that in comparison to the strength of the ocean, he is completely powerless. He cannot put his feet over the surface of the sea. He cannot mark the sea. He cannot exploit it. And even if he tries to do so, the rising sea waves, they kind of throw him out, and they throw him away from him, and they throw him onto earth where he can rule, where he has some power. So he's thrown back to that earth. And when man has to face any kind of sea storms, he feels scared, he feels helpless. And what does he do then? He sends his prayers to his gods. He earnestly prays to his gods that please save me from the anger of the ocean, the wrath of the ocean, and take him safely to the port, to the seashore, that he should be safely deposited onto the port. And if he's thrown by the sea waves to some faraway place, flung away to some faraway place, he does not dare to go back to the sea again. While when he is on earth, if maybe he is defeated once, he'll try his luck the second time. He'll keep on trying to overpower earth. He'll keep on trying to exploit earth. He'll keep on trying to rule earth. But when it comes to the ocean, he's powerless. He's insignificant. And when he's tested his strength against the ocean and realized how ineffective he is, how powerless he is, and how cruel the ocean can be, how mighty the ocean can be. The ocean has the power to destroy him completely. When man realizes this, he decides never to venture out on the sea again, never try to overpower the sea again. So, the poet is like, he's trying to convey that man may think of plundering the riches of the ocean with the help of science, with the help of new tools, with the help of the big huge ships. But he may try his hand, he may try to overpower the sea. But very soon he realizes that all his strength, all his tools, all his weapons, all his ships are nothing in comparison to the power of the ocean. And here in the last line, you can see that the poet is playing upon the word lay. Now, lay, lies, and lay, he uses the word there, let him lay. Byron is purposely using the transitive verb lay instead of lie, because firstly he is trying to rhyme because of the rhyme scheme, and this is like kind of a poetic license that the poets have. For the sake of rhyme, they can twist the words, and they can use grammatically words that are not very proper in a given passage or in a given line. But for the sake of rhyme, they have this privilege, or they have this allowance to use words the way they wish to. And it also gives a kind of pathos to the conclusion of the stanza. So very beautifully the transitive verb has been used here, and it makes complete poetic sense. So I hope what we had done, what I had tried to explain in the second stanza, is further, clarified in this third stanza, where the poet again reiterates, again re-emphasizes, or tries to convey how powerful the ocean is. And man may be, very vile, maybe many, very, very negative, very exploitative as far as earth is concerned. But when he tries his hand over the ocean, he very soon realizes that he's not going to be able to overpower the ocean. He's ineffective, he's insignificant. So, this is what the third stanza is all about. Thank you once again for your patient listening. I'll soon meet you again, and I shall be discussing the fourth stanza in the next video. A good day. Bye bye.